What is going on, guys? Penzik here with Reaper Airsoft, and today we're going to take a look on how to fix the Umarex Glock mags. And I don't know, these things are starting to hit the shelves now. They're starting to come into the retailers, and on the stock mags, the end plate, VFC and Umarex decided to take a lax approach to it. And I don't know if Glock had a hand in doing this, but obviously, with the Glock logo there and your fill valve being under the plate, Glock doesn't want a hole in there. But the issue is on the mags without modification, you can't slide this plate forward to actually fill your gun, or to fill the mag with the green gas. It's way too tight. In fact, when I first got this one, and I tried to push this forward, I had to use a screwdriver as a hammer to knock this plate forward to be able to fill the mag. So I found a quick fix to it, one that does not require you to drill a hole in your Glock logo. You can if you're more comfortable with that, but if you do decide to drill a hole in your Glock logo, please make sure you take this all the way off. Don't drill into the mag. And then be careful on the back side here. Your hole is going to be somewhere towards the back here, that little ramp, which means you're going to be right in the middle of the Glock logo. But Umarex, Glock, VFC, they all have a hand in quality control here, and they all obviously knew there was an issue because these things come smeared with a ton of freaking grease right off the bat, right from the factory. And it doesn't help. It really doesn't. You're not able to do this at all, which makes filling it while you're in the field playing or anything else a pain in the ass, and kind of takes from the whole overall aspect of the gun. So I'm going to show you how to fix those. See here, I've got a new one. We're going to bust out a new one. So here's a new unopened one. So you're going to need your mag. You're going to need a utility knife of some sort, something with a blade. Be careful, obviously, because they're sharp. And this is what we're going to do. Let's pop this bad boy open. And let's see how bad this one is. Alright, let's get this out of here. So here's the extra fill valve rings. And those actually go right down in the fill valve stem. That way it helps seal the green gas canister to the mag itself so you can actually fill it. So let's see. As you guys can see, this one's not as bad as my original, but it's still a little snug. It's snugger than I would like it to be. In order to fix this, what you're going to want to do, and if you cannot get yours off, if you're having an issue getting it off, normally I take a screwdriver. I normally have screwdrivers with rubberized ends to them, or even the plastic. Don't take metal, you'll mess up the plastic. You're going to pull down on your tab here. You're just going to pull right down here. That's going to release your button, and just give it a tap on the edge. And it's going to help free it up to get it at least started so you can start pushing it. Like I said, this one's not as bad. And this one's not as bad covered in grease either, but like I said, we shouldn't need to cover this in grease to be able to make it slide and do what we want. So we're going to wipe off the grease. We're going to set the mag aside. We're going to take the end plate, because this is where our modification is going to come into play. The end plate itself, as you can see, the Glock logo, and on the back side. What we need to do here, guys, is we need to actually trim down the sides that actually rub against the side of the mag here. And then we're going to try and roll the corners. We're going to try and radius the corners on the inside lip here. I don't know how well this is going to catch it, but we're going to try and radius those corners a little bit. Most of you are going to have the desire to do this when you're doing it. Don't do this. What you want to do is you want to hold your plate flat up and down. You want to take your blade against it. So you're going to want to be straight vertical with this here. And you're just going to drag the blade along the edge. And I'll show you guys here. I know it's not going to be the best because I got my hands in the way, but we'll see what I can show you. Let's see if we can get the light a little bit better over here too. That might help us out a little bit more. So we're just gonna drag and slide, and my hand's kind of getting away. But what you're going to see here is, let's see if I can get that scooped out. We're taking just a tiny bit of plastic off of the very edge of the lip here. And you want to come on the inside here, you want to do all the way from the front section all the way to the back on the sides. We don't need to do the front because the front's not really rubbing on anything, but you're going to do from here back all the way on both sides. And what this is going to do is it's going to thin that wall down just enough. And I'll show you guys my blade here. As you can see, I'm not taking off a ton, and that's the nice thing about it. Instead of trying to cut it or just scraping it, that's going to take any excess plastic right off the top, and it's going to scrape it right off the edge. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take our blade at an angle. We want to kind of come in and we want to try and cut on the bottom side of this lip. We want to take that edge, that corner of the plastic, and we don't want to add a ton of pressure. We just want to add enough that it slides against it and removes the corner, that 90-degree corner. And what this is going to do is it's going to throw a slight radius on it, so it slides a little bit better. That way, if there's any flash on there, and flash is just a little extra pieces of plastic from the plastic moldings. If there's any flashing on there at all, anything that's going to be sticking out further than it should, it's actually going to remove it. It's going to take it out of the way, and then that's just one less thing that we'd have to worry about. Now, like I said, you want to be careful. You don't want to cut yourself, so take your time. You don't have to add a ton of pressure. Here, we'll do this because we'll see how much we can actually get, and this white might make it a better background for you guys to see too. But this is going to give you an idea of how much we're actually taking off. And then as you do it, look at the plastic you're working with. You want to make sure you're trying to keep it flat. You don't want to just hit one edge of it. You want to keep the whole piece consistently flush where you're cutting it. Now, my lighting's not the best, so bear with me, guys. I'm going to shave this down, and we're going to get it where I want it. And as you can see, this is about what we've taken off so far. There's not a ton of plastic there. Doesn't need to be a ton of plastic. We're going to do it a little bit at a time just to try and make sure that we're not going too far. You can go too far, and you will wobble if you do go too far, so you want to do a couple passes here, and then you can go and check the fitment. I recommend, based on the tightness of your fitment, if it's extremely tight when you first start, take off a nice chunk. If it's sort of like semi-loose when you start, go ahead and just take off a little bit each time. So we're going to push, release it. We're still a little tight there. Let's push it, release, and we'll see how we're doing here. We're a little bit better. We can do a little more. It's not as much force needed, so I'm going to just set it down, scrape a little bit more off of this side, and we'll go to the other side. And then what you want to try and do is, as you're doing this, you're going to see we have a solid piece, a gap, and then another solid piece. If you can start and do a whole stroke on each solid piece, it's going to help keep you smoother and more even. Instead of just, if you do half here and then half down here, then you're not going to have an even plane. You want to try and just shave just enough. And we're just letting the blade do the work. We're not adding a ton of pressure. Literally just dragging the blade. We're taking off just a very, very minute layer of plastic off of each one of them. Like I said, we're not cutting into it. We're not adding pressure to it really. We're just kind of dragging against it. Let's get that cleaned up. Make sure you plop any loose material off of it. Now I'm going to hit those inside corners again to make sure we have no extra plastic sitting in there. We've got clean up right there. Alright, blow it off. Let's see how that one's working now. There we go. So that's acceptable. So see if we can do it on camera. Sorry, guys. As you can see, we're now sliding much easier. We're going to get a natural break in now. There's no lubrication on that. I've wiped all that extra lube off, but now we're actually sliding. It's there. It's not wobbling. It's not going to fall off. Everything is still great. Everything's still secure. But we can now do it. Can we do it one finger? I'm not sure if I'm coordinated enough here to do it one finger. Let's see if we do it. Pull down here. We'll do it two hands, but 2 hands, 1 finger. Yeah, 1 finger. So just my index finger. But this is at least going to let you go ahead and make it. And like I said, as you go through, you'll be able to feel and adjust. And here's a little tip, guys. If you're starting, say you place it on, you start sliding it back, and it's tight at this point, that means you have too much back here still. Too much back towards the flat spot. If you are sliding it on and it's great, it's smooth, it's nice and loose until the very end, that means we need to take some more off towards the front of the curve section here. So it's all about the feel. Normally I'll take more off back here, that way it's nice and easy towards the end, but when it's all the way back, it's nice and snug and firm, and it's going to help that your little indent's going to hold your base plate on there. But that is going to be your quickest fix, guys. And as you can see, we already got some rub marks just because of how tight they are. You can see it's starting to take some of the paint off. We got some of the shiny there, but that's how tight these plates are on the mags when they come from factory. But that's all you need to do. I didn't take a ton of plastic off at all. I didn't really have to cut. We're just shaving, and you can do it to all of your mags and still keep your Glock logo intact without having to drill any holes. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the comment section below. If this helped you out, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Help us out, guys. We'd appreciate it. And thanks for everybody for watching.